Hawks Bucks game 5 tonight. The Bucks will be losing a lot of production with the absence of Giannis, as the Greek Freak is averaging 28 points, just under 13 rebounds, along with 5 assists in these playoffs. He will be the 10th All-Star to miss time this postseason. Trae Young also questionable to play tonight. The 22-year-old averaging just under 30 points, 10 assists this postseason. Talk about production. Max Kellerman.
Yeah.
Max, which star return is more important for their respective team in advancing in this series?
The answer is Giannis. I mean, I just saw no Giannis, no Trae Young. What happens? The Hawks won. The Hawks won because Lou Will can do an impersonation of Trae Young. He's a real good scorer, and he was even dishing some assists because Bogdanovich can play, because they have guys. Herter can play, and they have guys who are stepping up. That is not what, look, the Bucks were supposed to have the third and fourth best player in this series. Giannis and Trae Young are the two best, and the third and fourth best player were supposed to be Middleton and Drew Holiday. That has not always been the case. The reason, Stephen A., they're not perennial all-stars is because they're not usually great. They are sometimes great. They're usually good, sometimes great. And without Giannis, those two especially need to step up. But what happened? Middleton drops 38, looks like MJ one game, and the next night Cam Reddish shuts him down? Can't happen. But it's what happened. Giannis, Stephen A., could have just won his third MVP. The only reason he didn't, because he put up the same numbers he did in back-to-back seasons when he won MVP, is because got a little fatigue giving him back-to-back awards, and we also what happened in the postseason. And that kind of got held against him because he had the same season 3 years in a row. He is normally a more effective player even than Trae Young, and that's saying a lot. And they need him now more than ever.
We disagree because I believe the Milwaukee Bucks, even without Giannis Antetokounmpo, have the talent and the experience to beat the Atlanta Hawks. Trae Young is averaging 32 and 6 this series on 47.9% shooting from the field. Now, I don't know what damn Atlanta Hawks game you watching, but Lou Williams can't imitate that. Not that average. He can have a game, but that's not what Lou Williams does. He can put up buckets, and we've seen him put up buckets in prolific fashion, but not in the last couple of years, not on this level. Trae Young is cat quick. He can pass the ball. He forces you to spread your defense out, opening up lanes for guys on the interior, not to mention creating open shots for other dudes, as opposed to just taking dudes off the dribble one-on-one or catching and shooting like Lou Williams does. Here's the reality of the situation, and this is why I continue to say he's the most important player, because without Trae Young, I don't believe the Hawks have a chance of winning this series. If Trae Young is there, you have a chance even with Giannis healthy. So imagine what chance you'd have without Giannis there. That's how I view it. I think with Middleton and Drew Holiday, what they're supposed to be, Max, should be enough to beat the Hawks, which is a more accurate way to say that. What they're supposed to be with the Atlanta Hawks. With the Atlanta Hawks, it's all about Trae. If you're talking about getting to the NBA Finals, it's all about Trae.
What they're supposed to be, I agree with you. And that's what I'm challenging. You know, it's not like Collins had a great game last game, but he might be the third best player in the series. Like, you have some guys to choose from. Who's the third or fourth best player in the series? Brand name-wise, it's Middleton and Holiday. They've been around. They've each made at least one all-star team. Middleton's made two. But in fact, not just by reputation, but in fact, that has not always been the case, even in this series. And that's the problem. Giannis is the guy that makes the Bucks, oh, wait a minute, you got to deal with this. And now, hey, let's get a little contribution from Middleton. We can win this thing. But without Giannis, not only does Middleton have to show up every night, but Drew Holiday has to take over running the offense. Now, I think they could do it. I thought they could, especially against the team in Atlanta. It's not like they're playing Brooklyn. But they got to do it. They haven't done it so far.
Yeah, but I think that what you're trying to say is that they have to do it, and I'm saying one of them has to do it. If one does it without the other, they could still beat the Hawks. If Trae Young ain't there to do it, they ain't winning. They're not winning.
I think your argument would be...
That's what I'm saying.
I think your argument would be a lot more persuasive, and I might have even agreed with it had I not just seen it in Game 4.
Well, you got to remember. Well, you got to remember, it's a couple of things that happen, right? the Milwaukee Bucks gave up their lead in the first half. And then you remember they came storming back, and Giannis was unstoppable. And you sort of got the impression, okay, they stole one from us in game one. We stomped them in game two. We came back and took game three and reclaimed home court advantage. And not only that, Max Kellerman, even though I know this is not a popular thing to say, Max and Molly, but I'll say it for you anyway.
Okay.
I keep telling y'all, distractions matter. And when you're in a place like the
Atlanta's used to
ATL
it.
and you have an off night, and you
Home
have
court
an
advantage.
off night. Now, it's one thing if you played and you got back-to-back and there's no nights off and then you're flying into that city the same day. But when you got time to hang out in places like the ATL, it might take you a little while to get your game together before you turn on the afterburners.
Home court in
Just
Atlanta.
trust me on this.
Also, an unpopular thing to say, but let's be honest, both teams need their stars.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.